Hello everyone!
Hey guys!
And welcome to another episode of
Masse Art Studios.
I'm Lee.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Cole.
Who is this guy, you were all asking yourself? Well, we were super lucky to be invited over to Cole's studio.
Yes.
What you probably don't know at this point, but certainly will do after watching this video, is that Cole is a TikTok sensation. Is there another name for it? Is it like TikTok famous, TikTok rock star?
I don't know. Somebody who makes TikTok videos, that's what I go by.
There you go. But he's based here in Dallas, and we reached out to him through social medias, and he very graciously invited us over to his studio to have a go at pendulum or swing paintings, because that's what he specialises in. And you know that we've tried a couple of them here on the channel.
Yes.
They have not been super successful. So we really wanted to go and learn with the pro.
Yes.
And that's exactly what we did. So we've got a couple of videos for you right here of us in the studios kind of playing around. Mm-hmm. Playing with paints, playing with different techniques, kind of being a bit silly and just seeing what was going to work or not. Yeah. And we had a lot of fun.
We really did.
It was really cool. Cole, tell everyone out there in YouTube land, please, how they can connect with you.
Pretty much everything's just at Cole's Color. I got lucky enough that everything was on the platform as Cole's Color, so I snagged that. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, so you name it.
Yeah. You name it, he's there. So please go check him out. He is definitely going to start posting on YouTube.
I already have. I think I have 4 or 5 videos.
Excellent.
Nice.
And there will be a lot more coming. So if you're watching this and you love what you see, please go over there and subscribe immediately, because there's going to be some fun content coming as well.
Give him some love, you guys.
Exactly. So if you're part of the Masse Posse, go over and have a look at Cole's channel. Why don't we get to it? We filmed this already. We're gonna go and do some audio and talk over what we're doing so that you can kind of hear about the process and just learn a little bit more about Cole as we go through this. So let's get to it.
Let's get to
Sounds
it.
good.
Let's do it. So here we are in Cole's studio here in Dallas.
I have thrown the bucket.
He's throwing the gauntlet. I got to admit, I wasn't exactly sure what we were doing at this point, because we'd done so much. I think this was the last thing that we did.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it was like the last 20 minutes. So you guys had to run, and we were just like, we got to get this in real quick. Because this is my series of conversations with Cole. That's kind of my name for it. So it's like a podcasty pendulum thing, and it tends to do really well. And what I like is that it gets the other people that are on there, get some followers and some views, which is really nice.
Right, which is super awesome.
Yeah, but the friendship is the real reason that I do it. So, but it was funny though. We were using like portrait and landscape, right? So it's like the meeting of the two worlds, right? You guys are big on YouTube, that landscape, and I'm portrait only. So it was cool to kind of come together and create some content in both.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was a headache to edit though.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't necessarily a headache. Yeah, it was a headache. It was an absolute headache. But it was just having to think about the two different formats, and both formats don't work for both social medias. So we had 5 different ways of filming, and that we had like 4 iPhones and then the DSLR camera, and it was just like having to think about where all the different angles were going to be to create the best kind of content.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
And I loved you catching the bucket there so we didn't have to.
Yeah,
yes.
That's how I do it.
There was a pour that Jeremy did. It was me throwing the bucket.
Now, the reason why you went this way with it was to give the lines a different angle, correct?
What do you mean by this way? Just to clarify for the viewers.
Oh, so he threw the bucket we
both threw it the same way.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, the same
Or
direction.
counterclockwise, right?
Yeah.
So the reason you do that, I mean, you can do it either way, and they both create kind of these different cross-hatching patterns, but it creates this kind of spiral effect since they're both moving the same way. If you do opposite, it creates these kind of interesting cross-hatching focal points. Versus when you do a spiral, it adds everything focuses at the center. So it's just, and I don't even think about it when I do it. Typically, I always go counterclockwise. But you can do it either way, and I think it's what I love is it's all an experiment. None of these are going to be the same, right? And that's what's so special with the same thing.
So how long did it take you to get like the setup right in terms of the bucket height in the studio and then the paint thicknesses and all those kind of things? Like how much time did you spend thinking about that when you very first started?
0.
Really? It's like trial and error.
Yeah, so
Right.
basically how it started is I had seen some videos online of Cal and Schaub doing it,
Right.
and I'd also done some research. There's a bunch of people that had done it like in the 60s and 70s, and I was on a painting date and I was like, might as well try this, and it worked really well and it was awesome. We did a couple of them, ran out of paint, and then I forgot about it.
Right.
And then quarantine hit, I was literally going insane, and my mom saw like buy one get two free at Michael's, that deal, and so she bought me a 4-foot canvas and was like, paint this for me. I was like, okay. So I did this pendulum technique. She filmed it, and that there was no thought process. I
Right.
literally found a can of paint in my garage. I jammed a hole through a old coffee tin, and just tied a bungee cord to it.
That's crazy.
And then it was tied to the top of my garage, and I was
Right.
just like, who cares? Let's try it. And she ended up filming it, and that's pretty much how this ended up working, and then I posted it, and that's how I got my following. Yeah, so this is a point, like in my head watching the video again, what I typically do is I'm looking, what was the point that I should pull the painting, right? And so I take these mental pictures of like, at this point I should pull it, so next time I have the confidence to be like, I should stop it here.
Right.
So if I were to do it again, I would have stopped it here, but that's the whole thing, is you can always do it again.
Right.
So I think that the painting turned out fantastic regardless.
Yeah, I love this, like, this really cool square that
Yeah.
you're getting in the
Center.
middle. Yeah, but then I also love
Yeah.
these two sides of like the lines on either side of it. It just
Yeah.
looks really cool.
It just draws you into the center.
Right.
And that's why I love the multiple pendulums. Like, I think that I'm known for the double pendulum, like two swings. I think 3 looks spectacular because then you get this, the cross hatching gets even more tight.
Right.
And I think it just looks, we did a great job. And this size of canvas, I think that this painting, the bigger the canvas, the more spectacular it looks.
Good point, because I don't think we've talked about this so far. How big is that canvas?
It's 8 foot by 6 foot.
That's crazy huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How big
that's
is that? How
awesome.
big is that in inches?
In inches?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why are you
Is it
asking
by
me math?
12? It's 8 by 12. So 2, 8, 6, 6, 6,
72 by 90?
96.
96,
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. Yeah, we've never worked on anything that big before. And that thing was heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy. It's
Yeah.
it's the like gallery grade, which is, or it's like the pro grade or something. It's 2.25 inches thick,
Right.
which is typically like the fancy canvases are 1.75. So
Right.
it's even thicker than that, or 1.5, something like what.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's so much fun to use, and what I've been doing is taking this canvas and doing painting over painting over painting,
Right.
and having these conversations with it, which you kind of off camera, we're all talking and having fun,
Right.
and it's just been so much fun, like sharing.
Because what you can see, hopefully you can see this, is that where the black or that dark brown, whatever color it was, base coat is, you can see almost the pores underneath it. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is, and it gives like this 3D effect to it.
Yeah.
Now this was super interesting.
This was a lot of fun.
Because we'd even thought about this ourselves, because people had asked us how to do this, but
Yeah.
you must have had thousands of people asking you.
Yeah.
So what was the question that drove you to this point?
So people always ask, can you layer paint in the bucket to create like an ombre effect? It's
Right.
essentially a gradient from one color to the next. And the problem is that if you create layers vertically, it pulls from the top layer and kind of like a funnel, right? When
Right.
you have that kind of
Like a whirlwind,
whirlwind,
tornado
exactly.
thing.
Tornado,
Whirlpool.
Yeah,
Like
whirlpool.
when you got the drain in the water tub and you
Right.
swirl it and it creates the whirlpool.
Right.
And so it pulls from the top versus the bottom, and so you have trouble. It creates these kind of streaks instead of the ombre effect.
Right.
So we went for the horizontal, the landscape versus the portrait.
Right.
And created these rings, which are just PVC pipes, and layered the paint in through the rings, which I'm talking with my hands right now, and no one can see it. And so it created, you can see those 3 different.
You absolutely can. It looks
Yeah.
like, it looks like a bullseye. It looks like a target.
yes.
Exactly.
And that's how it should be, because if it's pulling the paint from the center,
Yeah.
it'll pull the paint from the center, then the next layer on the
And it
outside,
falls into
and then
each
the
other.
next layer on the outside, and
Right.
fall into each other, which you'll see here happen.
And this was a 30 by 72? Was it 30 by 72 or? Yeah, I think it
remember.
was.
I think it's a 36 by 72.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty sizable.
Yeah.
72.
Right.
I wasn't 6 foot. It definitely.
No?
I think it was like I don't know, whatever. No, it doesn't matter.
48 by 60.
It was a 36.2 by 46.
Yeah, I know it wasn't an 11 by 14. That I know for sure.
It was bigger than 2 feet.
It absolutely was.
Yeah, but
But what you can see here, so this is the tan colour. It was actually warm grey, I think it was,
Yeah.
with Amsterdam colour that we had in the middle. And this is what's coming out first, right?
Yeah,
there's that center ring.
Yeah.
I think it's starting to get a little pink now.
Yeah, you can see it in kind of like the middle left,
Right.
Yeah.
or kind of the top middle left, whatever. But you can kind of see the pink start to show up, and as it gets closer and closer, it really shows. And I think that this is the proof of concept that shows it works. We also the blue was the third one, and we added too much paint. It was definitely less is more with
That
this technique.
second ring was just too big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely, and it's a trial, right? It's always.
I'd never noticed this before because I'd never really watched it, but if you look into the top of the bucket, the tan has actually disappeared now, and all
Yeah.
you can see is the pink in the middle.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's
That's really
super
cool.
And that's what I love about it is you can seriously, that top down angle is just so beautiful.
Right.
So I'll explain how we get that shot. So my studio is in an old office building. They rent out each room of the office building as a studio, and you can't lose your deposit for cosmetic damage. So if you see the floor beneath it, hundreds and hundreds of paintings I've done here are just layered on the ground, especially the wood planks. I don't
Right.
think you can see them.
No, you can totally see them, yeah.
But just like, unless I pointed them out, you probably wouldn't notice.
Because they blend, they're so camouflaged into the
Exactly.
background. Yeah.
And so I don't know if all office buildings are like this, but typically they have these like foam tiles in the ceilings, like this
Right.
grid. And so what I've done is just kind of push the tiles up and just shove my phone into the tiles.
Right.
And it fits. Actually, we used Lee's phone this time.
This time it was my phone,
you trusted me big time with that. So
There
there's
I
us getting
am.
some B-roll.
Yeah, Jeremy's doing
Getting
some
all the way.
TikTok footage.
That was a great shot. I really love how it followed the bucket really
Right.
well. But yeah, I think we're pulling it here.
Yeah, because what we'd kind of decided by this point was that there was maybe too much pink in the bucket,
Yes.
right? And we really wanted to see the blue on the canvas too with the other
Yeah.
colours.
I think
So I think, didn't you like scoop out at
that
this
was
point?
later.
Oh, was it?
That this is the point where I was like, let's just let it go until something happens.
Right.
So this was me explaining where the pendulum's gonna go. I mean,
Right.
I've done it enough. I know where it's gonna go for the most part. Sometimes I don't, but yeah, we were just like, let's just mess this up. Like the same kind of thing I was explaining before is take those mental snapshots of when should I have stopped,
Right.
and take it to the absolute extreme. So next time you have the confidence to stop.
Right.
And so that's what we did here, right? And we realized there's too much pink in it,
Right.
but we were committed, right? So you just keep it going
have to
until
keep
the
going.
blue shows up.
So is this the first time that you'd used acrylic paint on a pour before, or because you normally use house paint?
Yeah, I used
Right.
latex house paint. This was the first time.
Right.
Yeah, I've never. You guys mixed all this paint and had it ready to go. I was very thankful for that. And I honestly don't love, like, if it's just my art and it's not a collab, I like that you guys added your colors because I've just used black and white.
Right.
And I love the irony of Cole's color using
Right.
black and white.
Of course.
Is it's just such high contrast. I'll be honest, I'm thinking two things. I'm thinking composition, and then I'm thinking, how is this going to do on social media?
Right.
And so the high contrast paintings will want to do well. Where this is a unique style, so this will do
Right.
well as well. But at the end of the day, it's the artistry over the social media. So,
Yeah,
but it's still a
right.
factor.
And the blue still hadn't really come through. I think you can see parts of the
Parts
blue
of the
coming
blue are
through.
starting
Like
to
there's,
come through
it's like
now,
turning a
yeah.
little purple, but it wasn't as blue as we really wanted by this point.
Yeah.
I think we were both getting to the point where everyone was getting to the point where we're like, "Come on, blue!" We just wanted to
Exactly.
see it come out.
But look at the bucket.
The bucket's all blue.
That's what I was looking at. I was like, we're so close.
Right.
But
And actually, I think you pointed out at one point that the line that was coming out onto the canvas almost was streaked with blue. It was like almost highlighted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was coming. It just wasn't all the way there.
and what's cool is that the angle you look at it creates a different view if it has that streak, right? Maybe it's like
Right.
on the left. Like that's the other thing I've done before is you put a divider in the center of the bucket and you
Right.
put one color and the other color, and it creates this 3D effect.
That's super cool.
Especially when you have thick paint because
Right.
it sits above the canvas. it dries and you have the split, right? So when you look at it from the left, it'll be white, and then this way it'll be pink.
It's almost like one of those signs that you can see that they're like two pictures, but looking at different ways.
And I want to take that further.
Now so this is the point where we were like, okay, we really want to see the blue. So Cole literally like dipped his hand, I think, in the bucket, right?
Oh, not yet.
Oh, was it still not yet?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
we were still going for it.
This is the one we were like, it looks good, but we're here for the proof of concept.
Okay.
So I think I literally just said, we're just going to do this until
we were committed by this point.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I did.
I really love the idea that you were just talking about, though, that like two-tone stripe. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that should be our next collab, doing that. Because I think that doing really high contrast colors with that, and then having it dry and showing the angles would be really interesting. I think you guys could rock that as well. I think that having paint that has a little more body to it, even like mixing house paint with pigments, that would work too.
Yeah, totally.
Because this contrast, like this, what do you call it? The thickness of the paint. I think that the reason I use house paint is because it creates that texture, like we had talked about before. You can see the lines below it, and you can in this too. But I think it's more defined, and I like how it sits above it. But yeah, it's still pink.
It really is by this point. And it's so funny because I don't feel like we put a lot of paint in the bucket when we were filling up the bucket.
We really didn't.
No?
We did, actually.
I mean, I fill it 3/4 of the way full when I do it. So I was like, literally like, is it even going to come out? Because you need that. What's difficult is since the bucket is so wide, you need a ton of paint to create pressure with gravity to shove it out. Yeah.
And we talked about this when we were in your studio, but why don't you put weights on your bucket? Because everyone that we've ever seen do a pendulum pour on YouTube before, they always talk about weighting the bucket to keep it swinging.
Yeah.
But yours is swinging perfectly fine.
I think it's just because the heft of it.
Okay.
The weight is what. So what I've found is that the heavier the weight, the tighter the lines get.
Okay.
But since I use such a thick line of paint, it starts to get smushed together, like, and it muddies it up. So if you see this pink, is just like a massive pink, which looks nice because there is this kind of tan and pink together.
Right.
But if I were to do this and it would have been pure white and black, I would have pulled this way earlier because you get these fat things, and then if you have the thick paint, it goes from this nice bump to this big, wide, spread out gunk.
Yeah.
And I think what it is as well, maybe for us who are fluid artists that try pendulum pours, we're not doing them in a 12 by 12 inch, 12 foot by 12 foot space.
Yeah.
A lot of people will actually do a pendulum pour on their table and do it real small scale. So I think you might need the weight in that point to keep it swinging. Whereas you've got how maybe 7 or 8 foot of rope here that's tied to the bottom of the bucket. So.
But at the same, sorry, go ahead, Jeremy.
No, it's okay.
At the same time, I've never had problems with that. I mean, the paintings are quicker if you have less weight.
Right.
So my first ever painting, I had a solo cup and filled it 3/4 of the way full with paint. Within, I think it was a 58-second video, it was done.
Right.
So maybe the weights are there so you get the YouTube double ad, the 10-minute mark, because it does make a difference if you have those fine lines. You can afford to get those interesting patterns.
Now this is where you're doing what I keep talking about.
Yeah.
So basically Cole dives with his hand in the bucket to like probably just move anything that's still pink in there so that we've got the blue.
Yeah.
And then you just send it flying again.
Yeah, scoop the center up, and so then the blue kind of filled the space.
Right.
And yeah, that's what we did here. It was really drippy at first, and then I think I might have pulled it, but no, I just let it go. I was like, trust the process. I think there was a big chunk in it.
Yeah, that would be that's one of the only things that we've talked about when we've done pendulum pours before. When you're mixing acrylic paint using Floetrol, you got to be really careful that you don't get buggers in it and lumps in it, because when we've done them before, like something's bunged up the hole.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. I mean, did I teach you the trick for that? Take a wire mesh strainer.
Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah. So we strained ours twice last time.
And it still did it?
No. The learning from the mistake of not doing it the first time, we went, okay, let's just do this twice and then restrain it. Yeah.
And when you use such a big hole, I kind of like the drips. I think that when you have this double, triple pendulum, I think that the drips add to it. If they're fairly infrequent, and those kind of
Yeah,
spots.
I'm a purist.
Oh yeah.
I like that like clean, crisp
When it's
line.
crispy, yeah. Whenever I have a commission, I go straight to Home Depot and I buy a new can of paint.
Right.
So it's mixed right there. It's perfect, no chunks. Because if you leave it out, it's gonna make a chunk.
Do you have a certain brand of paint that you prefer?
Honestly, no. I used to be diehard Behr Marquee matte paint. Actually, one of my friends connected me with the former head of sales for Behr Paint, and he's now a full-time artist selling paintings for 50 grand. Like, it's insane.
That's crazy.
And I mean, he's a sales guy at heart.
Right.
So, but I was talking to him like, what house paint should I use? Like, just use Behr. But I think he's biased
Because he used to work there.
Yeah.
Well,
I used it forever. So
there's a technique that we do called blooms and also pearl pours, and so we use the Behr interior exterior house paint for that. So it's popular in our community too.
yeah, that's nice.
Which I will be trying soon.
I know you're desperate to get your hands on a bloom, but clearly right now you can absolutely see the blue on the canvas.
Yeah.
We were just hoping that it was going to come out sooner than having to dig your hand in it.
It looked like we just put blue in the bucket.
It did, but it was already there.
Yeah, so I think when I edit the TikToks, I'm probably not gonna put the blue in it.
Right.
I think the next time it'll be great, but it's funny. I did another iteration of this. I was showing you guys earlier.
Right.
And do you know what I ended up doing? Is I ended up basically doing one pendulum and then just pouring a glug of this next painting, and then it would come out the next gradient and pouring another glug in. So
That would be cool too.
yeah, it worked pretty well.
So we're almost at the end of this second pendulum pour. Cole, this worked in terms of being able to get the three colors on the canvas, and now we've just got to do it again, but do it neater, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm super excited to give it another go.
It should be so much fun. Yeah, you guys are gonna be in my studio again very soon.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a problem getting us out of your studio. I think that's probably more of what's gonna happen.
There's quite the lock on the door.
Well, thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Super cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it.
So there you have it.
There you have it, folks.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Playing with perspective.
Exactly.
There you
Exactly.
Jeremy, send us home. What's going on?
Well, you just saw everything that we just posted or just filmed,
Right.
and heard everything about Cole and how his process works, and how we had such a great time in the studio, and we loved it. It was so much fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah,
Was it
really
like 5 hours of painting? And
Oh my gosh, it
I looked at my
was.
phone. I was just like, wow,
Where
we've
did
been
the
here
time
forever.
go?
It was
Well,
so
and we
good.
came out and we were exhausted because of like the adrenaline was constantly going for 5 hours. We
Totally.
were like also
And
excited.
the creativity, right? Like, I feel like that drains you in a good way. But
Right,
like,
yeah.
you get out, you're like, I need food right now.
Right.
Oh yeah, totally. That's exactly.
You
how it
almost
felt.
made me stop at Church's Chicken, I think.
I know. I almost did.
It was
I was
really
going to that
almost
taco
did.
place right there.
That was
so-
good too. Yeah. So we hope that we're going to be invited back to Cole's studio again.
course.
There we go. I'm excited.
Put me on camera.
Well, there we are. Now
Yeah,
you
no,
heard it.
I had already said you guys are always welcome.
It's going to be so much fun.
Thanks, guys. Now, what we're gonna do next? Well, on Tuesday's episode,
Right.
I'm thinking that maybe it'll be a surprise, because I think I have an idea for something that I really want to do.
I don't even know
Yeah.
what he's doing. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like keeping this one close to
I
his
She
know.
chest.
already
I
told
know.
me, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe I won't be there for that long. You never know.
So you'll have to just wait and see what happens, guys.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're really excited about it, or I'm really excited about it. He has yet to know about it.
If you
So
haven't liked and subscribed already,
Please.
do so. If you haven't liked and subscribed to everything Cole's Colour, that's TikTok, Instagram, and the YouTubes, please get on it immediately, because this guy produces some really awesome content, and you'll be blown away. We were. It was awesome.
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, it's all the truth. And the fluidartexperience.com, please go check that out on the website too.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, listen, let's let you get on with your Sunday. Thank you for being here with us, and we'll see you very soon.
Yes.
Say bye, Cole.
Bye, Cole.
Bye,
So we want to take a moment to spank. Spank some very special We want to take a moment to thank some very special people.
Absolutely.
And that's our
Patreons.
So the Patreon account is a very separate account from YouTube, but it allows some very important people the opportunity to get a little bit of a closer look of the studio. And there are certain levels. So at one level, for example, you get to see sneak peeks and behind the scenes videos. At another level, you're invited to join us in a WhatsApp group where we chat, we exchange pictures, and you also get weekly painting challenges. In another level, you get once a month live streams. At another level, you get once a month tutorials that are live.
Yes.
And then at our top tier, the diamond level, you would get to pick the colours and the technique for an episode of Masse Art Studios, and then you get to keep one of the 11 by 14 inch canvases every single month. And so, with a change of venue,
What?
I know, we've got some very special people that we have to thank, and that is our gold Masse posse. That's Trisha West, Jane Klein, Stephanie Hancock, Donna Patterson, Terry Leshner, Gloria Salaki, it's Nate Bright, it's Linda Serien, Crafty Chicken Mom, it's Rebecca Hawes Winters, Patsy Petrilli, it's Tammy Houdsbrook, it's Kelly Stowell, and it's Gillian Barnett.
Now with the platinum level, it's Leslie Beaver, Janice and Steve Pittman, Donna Panis, Dana Foxley, Elaine Burton, Susan Shepperson, and Robin Koza.
And you all know her, we all love her. At the diamond level, there's only one person, and that is Sparkles. So to you guys and to everyone else whose names that you'll see here listed below, thank you so very much. We absolutely love that you're here with us on this journey, and we're going to keep pouring.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.